Hello everyone, this is Vanshika Tainwala, legal intern under Lexis and Company for the month of June, and today in this video I will be talking about the topic of the Code of Social Security 2020. So this code universalizes all the social security coverage to those working in the unorganized sector such as migrant workers, gig workers and the platform workers. For the first time, the provisions of social security scheme will be applicable to the agricultural workers also. The code also reduces the time limit for receiving the gratuity payment from continuous service of 5 years to 1 year for all kinds of employees, including the fixed term employees, contract labor, daily and monthly wage workers. So however, there are few benefits, but there are some loopholes and gaps which we can observe in the Code of Social Security. The first is the Indian Parliament in September 2020 passed the Social Security Code. Fair enough, but the government has ensured that at least in a year of nationwide pandemic, the health budget of financial year 2021 to 2022 is higher than the pathetic just over 1% of GDP than it has been for decades. If we leave out the allocation for COVID-19 vaccines, which is almost unused, so the financial year 2020 health budget is actually much lower. Coming on to the social security scheme, so the Social Security Code 2020 has actually merged existing social security laws and has attempted to include informal workers within the ambit of social security administration. However, an examination of the code reveals that universalization of social security still remains an unfulfilled aspiration. So, the social security scheme amalgamates and rationalizes the provision of 6 existing central labor laws. Out of these are the Employees Provident Fund, the Employees State Insurance, Maternity Benefit. It is actually only provided to the organized sectors. So it has remained not applicability to the non-organized sectors till now. So for employees, we can see that the state insurance, the existing threshold has been withdrawn, and now the central government can extend the employee state insurance benefit to any organization irrespective of the number of workers employed therein. So however, there are few ambiguities and there are few misconceptions regarding the same. So there are hurdles for the informal sector. The informal sector is still facing a lot of issues regarding the Social Security Scheme Code, and they have not been given proper recognition within the code. So the registration is a prerequisite for the national coverage. So for the employees to come under the Social Security Scheme, Social Security Code, they need to be registered. But to avail Social Security, the registration must be done on an online website which is developed by the central government. So to avail the benefits, the informal sector people, they are not aware about their internet issues and about the online accessibility. So is this code going to be a universal social security to the 91% in the informal sector? So the first is, it proposes that both central and state government will formulate schemes for the unorganized sector. The legal framework which is proposed in the code and the rules implies that the basic onus lies on the informal workers registering as beneficiaries. So they must register as beneficiaries. Still, a large number of informal sectors are outside the ambit of any social security scheme even after the 13 years. So the absence of definite and unambiguous provisions in the present code would further complicate the issues relating to the universal registration. So the key benefits that needs to be applicable to the various sectors are such as maternity benefits. Under the Social Security Scheme, the provision of maternity benefit has not been made universal. It is only applicable to the organizations who have employees of at least 10 workers or more. So the definition of establishment in the proposed code does not include the unorganized sector. So the women who are engaged in the unorganized sector, they are outside the purview of this maternity benefit. For informal sector, access to Employees Provident Fund remains unfulfilled too in the new code. So there are some lost opportunities. First, the provision of social security could be used to formalize worker to a certain extent. Secondly, the employees could have been made to own up to the responsibility of providing social security to their workers. Also, if we see towards the unorganized sector, the state has the responsibility. They have the primary responsibility. That primary responsibility lies within the state government in order to check whether the employers are taking the advantage of workers' productivity or not. Financial crises are there for every state, but all the code does is to state that the design schemes for informal workers and it should be implemented as and when deemed fit. So in conclusion, I would like to add that the code remains a collage of existing pieces of the legislation without that interweaving thread of integration. So it has a promise but cannot meet those expectations. So there must be revamping of labor regulations. It has been an area of focus for the government. So the government should focus more on the informal sector and towards the maternity benefits, because unorganized sectors are still not getting the recognition which they should get. So the government should focus on the registration of the informal sector too. Thank you.